Today we are starting with the excretory system. So you can see that a large number of wastes are formed in our body due to the metabolic activities. Okay, so these waste must be eliminated from our body or removed from our body. So for this elimination of this waste or the removal of this waste, a system is needed, and that system is called as what? Excretory system. So the system which removes the waste product or the product formed by the metabolic activities are called as what? Excretory system. So what are these waste formed in our body? You can see that large amount of carbon dioxide and water are produced by metabolism of carbohydrate, fats and proteins. So you can see that when we are eaten food, it contains what? Carbohydrate may contain, fat may contain and protein may contain. So you can see that from this, when this metabolic process is going on, you can say that this a large amount of water and carbon dioxide are removed. Again you can see that nitrogenous waste such as ammonia, urea, uric acid, etc. These are formed during the metabolism of protein. So these are complex nitrogenous compound. This also has to be removed from our body. So these products, these nitrogenous waste, if not removed from the body, what will happen? Yes, it become toxic or it become poisonous. So a system must be needed. That system is excretory system, and through this system we are eliminating this waste. So you can say that the removal of this nitrogenous waste from our body is called as excretion, and the system concerned with excretion is called as what? Excretory system. So the same excretory system, another name we can say that urinary system, because through urine also this waste are going out. So we can say commonly urinary system or excretory system. Now let us see what are the substances to be eliminated from our body. So you can see that first these substances, if not eliminated, what will happen? Yes, it become toxic or poisonous, and so it should be removed from the body. So first thing, carbon dioxide and water. These are the respiratory products. You know, while breathing, you can see that we are taking oxygen. Our tissues are using oxygen, and again you can see that collecting back carbon dioxide from all the tissues, and when we are exhaling, this carbon dioxide are eliminated from our body. So along with this carbon dioxide, water vapor also is eliminating. Then nitrogenous metabolic waste. So you can see that usually this happens when we pass urine. Otherwise through a small amount of this waste will be removed when our body sweats. Okay, then excess salt and vitamins, that is another thing. Excess salt what is formed in our body, and excess vitamin also has to be removed. Usually through the urine it will be removing. Then excess water in sweat as well as you can see that in urine it will be removed. Then bile pigment, that also removed through urine. Okay, first let us see carbon dioxide and water. Every living cell liberates energy by oxidizing glucose with the production of carbon dioxide and water. That is nothing but respiration. So when we are oxidizing the food we are eating, it combines with oxygen and its oxidation process goes on. So energy will be liberating. And what are the other products formed? Yes, that is carbon dioxide and water. So it should be eliminated from our body. So the carbon dioxide is eliminated through the lungs. The extra water is released out of from the body in the form of sweat. So while we are exhaling, means breathing out, carbon dioxide will be eliminated, and when we are sweating, you can see that this extra water will be eliminating. Next is nitrogenous waste. So these include, what are these nitrogenous waste? Yes, urea, uric acid and ammonia. So what are those nitrogenous waste? Urea, uric acid and ammonia. So you can see these are produced mainly where? In the liver. So the urea, uric acid, ammonia, these are mainly produced in the liver. How it is produced? From the dead protein remains of other tissues that are brought to it. So from the dead protein remains, this urea, uric acid, ammonia, these are formed in the tissues by the dead protein remains. So it has to be then brought to liver. So any extra amino acid, it is a protein. Okay, protein molecule is made by amino acid, and if any extra amino acid is present, you can see that it cannot be stored by our body. So what has to be done? It has to be eliminated. This extra amino acid formed means it should be eliminated. So you can see that these are broken down. What? Extra amino acid. These are broken down in the liver and produces what? Usable glucose and urea that has to be excreted out. So urea is highly poisonous, and if allowed to accumulate in the body or in the blood, you can see that if it comes to a certain level, it may cause death. So definitely this urea has to be eliminated from our body, otherwise it will become toxic. Then next thing is excess of salt, and this excess of salt is common salt, that is sodium chloride. Kitchen salt or common salt, that is sodium chloride. And in some excess this water soluble vitamins. So which are the water soluble vitamins? Yes, vitamin B and vitamin C. And this, if it is present in more than the required amount, that also should be eliminated from our body. Okay. And this excess quantity of water. Next is excess quantity of water. Usually how this water we are taking, sometimes as water we have taken, or sometimes you can see that in the form of tea, coffee or juice, any form when we are taking this water, excess if it comes, that also has to be removed from the body. So the excess quantity of water is removed, which incidentally serves as a useful purpose of dissolving harmful materials to carry them out. Next one is bile pigment, and you can see that bilirubin, that is nothing but yellow bilirubin. It has also been removed, and these are breakdown product of hemoglobin of the dead RBC. RBC, you can see a heme part is there, a globin part is there. Heme part is iron pigment, globin protein pigment. So you have studied all these things. So here you can see that this hemoglobin, from that what is produced? Usually bilirubin, that is by the breakdown of the hemoglobin of the dead RBC, and the liver cell extract it from the circulation and secrete it the bile juice poured into the duodenum through what? Through the common bile duct, and some of these pigments are excreted from urine. So these are the things has to be eliminated: carbon dioxide and water, nitrogenous waste, excess salt and vitamins. That vitamins are nothing but water soluble vitamin, just like B and C. Then excess water and bile pigment. These are the things to be eliminated from the body. So overall we can see the definition of excretion. It is nothing but the removal of harmful and unwanted nitrogenous waste from the body. So what is meant by excretion? The removal of unwanted nitrogenous waste from our body is called as what? Excretion. So you can see what are the excretory organs present in human being. So when we tell that itself, you will be very familiar with the kidney. So yes, that is the kidney is the first main excretory organ, and it is the, you can see mainly nitrogenous wastes are eliminated from the kidney. Okay, and what are these? Urea, uric acid, ammonia. These things are excreted through the kidney when we are passing urine. Along with urine, these nitrogenous waste will be eliminated from our body. So in addition to this kidney, there are certain accessory excretory organ, means the other organs which helps in excretion or removal of this waste. So what are these organs? One is skin, the other one is lungs, and the third one is liver. These are the three accessory excretory organ, means the organs which helps in this excretion. So first accessory organ is skin. You know what is the waste usually eliminated by skin? Who can tell? Ayush, can you say me what is the waste removed by skin?
Urea.
Yes, you can see that the sweat, okay, so in the sweat it is present. Of course, sweat is excreted by sweat glands. So in 9th standard, you have studied about the skin structure in that sweat glands and sweat pores also you have seen. So sweat is excreted by the sweat glands, and through the skin, with small pores are present or small opening are present, which is called as sweat pores, and through this excess water and sodium chloride and small amount of urea and lactic acid are excreted out. So what are the materials excreted through the skin? Usually in the form of sweat it is excreted out. So in that sweat, what are the things present? You can see water is present, sodium chloride is present, urea is present, and lactic acid. These are the 4 things present in the sweat. So when we are sweating, you can see when you do some rigorous activities, say for example running, playing, etc. from your body, sweat will be coming out, and along with this sweat, these waste also are eliminated. So sweat glands passes out sweat only when required for cooling. So truly when they are not excretory. So we can say that sorry. So this, when we are sweating, this water or sodium chloride along with the urea and lactic acid will be coming out in the form of sweat. So you can see that when once we are sweating, how you will feel your body temperature? Yes, it is cooled, isn't it? So you can, you might have come across the situation when you got a high fever. You can see that due to that hot you may sweat. After sweating, your body will get a coolness. Okay, so the body itself has the arrangement for cooling. Okay, so second accessory excretory organ is what? Lungs. So through the lungs, carbon dioxide, mainly we are breathing in and out. So in we are taking air. In that air oxygen is present, carbon dioxide also is present, isn't it? So when we are exhaling out, you can say that this carbon dioxide we are giving out. So lungs are mainly for giving out what? Carbon dioxide. Next one is liver. Already we have seen liver detoxifies ammonia by converting it into urea. So this ammonia, it is not needed by our body. So if it accumulates in our body, it becomes toxic or poisonous. So detoxification or removal of this toxic substance, that is ammonia, how it will be, what our liver will be doing, it is converting this ammonia into urea, and urea is excreted through urine. When we are passing urine, this urea will be excreted out. Liver also break down. What are the other works what the liver will do? The bad cholesterol in our body. So good cholesterol is the bad cholesterol, 2 LDH and LDL and HDL, 2 types of cholesterol is there. And the bad cholesterol also break down by what? Yes, by cholesterol, by liver, and again alcohol, nicotine and certain drugs. All these things are what? It is breakdown by liver. So these are the 3 accessory organs: skin, lungs and liver. So skin removes all these water, sodium chloride and urea and lactic acid in the form of sweat. Lungs give out carbon dioxide while we are breathing out, and liver excrete urea through urine. And again you can see that bad cholesterol as well as alcohol and nicotine and certain drugs also can be removed by what? Liver. Okay. Now we can go to the structure of the kidney. How many kidneys do you have, children? Of course, we have 2 kidneys on, you can see, either side of the vertebral column. So last class you have seen the structure of vertebral column, and all in 9th standard you have studied the whole structure of skeleton. So you can see that these 2 kidneys are arranged dorsally on the sides of this vertebral column. What is the shape of the kidney? Yes, the shape of the kidney is bean shaped. So it is, these kidneys are of the shape of bean seed. So these are the kidneys. So 2 kidneys are there, and it is, what is the shape? Bean shape. And what is its size? It's 10 centimeter long and 6 centimeter wide. So length it is what? 10 centimeter. And what is the width? 6 centimeter. So this is the size of the kidney. 10 centimeter long and 6 centimeter width, and its location is on either side of the backbone or vertebral column, and is protected by the last 2 ribs. So last 2 ribs, are you remembering what you have studied in 9th standard? What are the last 2 ribs are called? They are floating ribs because they are not attached to the sternum. Okay. So you can see that the right side kidney is slightly lower level. Right side kidney, that is slightly lower level than the left one. And a tube called ureter arises from the nose. So from here, a tube which is called as what? Ureter. The tube which is called as what? Ureter. It is arising from here, and this is kidney. This is ureter. And again you can see that where it reaches a bladder which is called as urinary bladder. So here you can see it will come, reach here, and this is nothing but what? Urinary bladder. So this is nothing but urinary bladder. So it comes and reaches the bladder, a bag-like structure for storing what? urine, and that is called as urinary bladder. And the front end of the ureter is somewhat expanded in the kidney and is called as pelvis. See, the ureter, it passes like this, okay? And when it reaches here, you can see this part is expanded. So this part where it is connecting to the kidney, this part, it is called as what? Pelvis. What is that? Pelvis. This expanded part, it is called as what? Pelvis. The expanded part is called as what? Pelvis. The urine produced in the kidneys constantly flows through the ureter and collects in the urinary bladder. So what urine is produced here constantly, that will be passing through this ureter, through both the ureter and collecting in this urinary bladder. Okay. So from the kidney, urine comes out and collected in the urinary bladder. So you can see that it will be removed whenever you have the urine sensation. You can see that you are passing out the urine through the opening called as what? Urethra. So here the down opening is called as what? Urethra, and here there is a muscle. Here a muscle is present and that muscle is called as sphincter. So you can see that control. Otherwise urine will be coming always. So this is urinary bladder and this is called as urethra. And this muscle which is present here, that you can see that by the contraction and relaxation of the muscle, you can the body itself open this urethra. So but these are circular muscles that guard the opening of the bladder into the urethra and relaxes only at the time of urination. When you are passing urine only, that muscle will be relaxing. Understood? And the process of urination is called as micturition. So the term, a new term you are studying, that is called as micturition. That is nothing but urination. So here you can see the structure of kidney clearly. See, these are the two kidneys. So here the section it is shown here. Here the complete kidney, brownish kidney you can see. From there, see the yellow colored two tubes are coming. See, these are the two tubes, and these tubes are called as what? Nothing but ureter. From the kidney, urine will pass through this yellow colored tube which is called as what? Ureter. And here it comes another part you can see. This is nothing but what? Urinary bladder. And here the last opening you can see. This is called as what? Urethra. And here there is a muscle which is called as sphincter muscle, which helps in relaxing. By relaxing you can pass the urine. Otherwise this muscle won't allow the urine to come out through the urethra. So this is the structure of the kidney or urinary system, excretory system in human being, otherwise urinary system in human being. You can clearly see. Okay. Now you can see the structure of a kidney, that is internal structure of human kidney. So inside this kidney, here you can see it is the section part, it is shown here. So enlarged structure, let us see. Okay. So the longitudinal section of the kidney shows two major regions, that is outer cortex and inner medulla. So you can look here children. See this brown part. See, this is the longitudinal section or LS of a kidney. This brown part which is called as what? Cortex. Outer cortex, and here the inner part, the pink color you can see, this is what is nothing but medulla. So each kidney is divided into two parts, that is the outer part is called as what? Cortex, and inner part is called as medulla. And the medulla is composed of finely striped substances arranged in conical pyramids. See here, in conical pyramids fine substances are there. See here, like this. Okay, so what are these called as? This conical pyramid is called as papilla. Is this end of these conical pyramids? See that this color, this dark red color, this is called as what? Nothing but papilla. So the conical pyramids ends in what? Papilla. And you can see that which projects in the pelvis of the kidney. Pelvis means this region. See, this is the region. This papilla projects in the pelvis of the kidney. Okay. And again you can see that this a renal column you can see. What is that renal column? Portion of the cortical tissue, the cortex, enter in between, and so it is called as what? Renal columns. Next, the kidney is composed of enormous number of minute tubules called as uriniferous tubules. So the structural and functional unit of the kidney is called as uriniferous tubule. So important, the structural and functional unit of kidney is nothing but uriniferous tubule. This other name of it is nephron. Same thing only, uriniferous tubule or nephrons, otherwise called as renal tubule or kidney tubule. So this four name also same only. So commonly called as the structural and functional unit of the kidney is nothing but uriniferous tubule or nephron or renal tubules or kidney tubule. So what is the structural and functional unit of kidney? Yes, nephron or renal tubules or uriniferous tubule. And now the structure of the kidney tubule. Each kidney you can see that thousands of tubules are present here. The structural and functional unit is called as what? Yes, nephron or uriniferous tubule, and thousands of tubules are present here. So let us see the structure of this nephron. Okay, so each kidney tubule has the following parts. First one is the Bowman's capsule. So it is like this. This kidney, each kidney's nephron or uriniferous tubule I am showing you. So it is somewhat like this, a capsule called as Bowman's capsule. This structure is called as what? Bowman's capsule. So it is a thin walled cup, something like a hollow ball pressed deep on one side. See, a hollow ball can press deep in one side like that. It's a hollow cavity. Okay, it's a hollow cavity. This cavity is called as what? Bowman's capsule. Its hollow internal space continues into the tubule, and this one you can see that this is continuing as what? A tube-like structure. The outer cavity of the cup lodges a knot-like mass of blood capillaries called as glomerulus, and here you can see that this cavity, a knot-like blood capillaries these blood capillaries which is present inside is called as what? Glomerulus. So this is what? Glomerulus. Okay, this is called as what? Bowman's capsule. Okay, this is Bowman's capsule and the knot-like structure of blood capillaries, that is called as what? As glomerulus. The Bowman capsule and the glomerulus together are called Malpighian capsule or renal capsule. These two together, this glomerulus and Bowman's capsule together, what name is there? Yes, it is called as Malpighian capsule, or otherwise it is called as what? Renal capsule. So, important, glomerulus as well as Bowman's capsule together called as Malpighian capsule or renal capsule. So, now the next part, that is the proximal or first convoluted tubule. So from here, the first convoluted tubule, it will be like this. Okay, so the proximal or first convoluted tubule, PCT. This is PCT, proximal convoluted tubule, full form proximal convoluted tubule or first convoluted tubule. From there, the first convoluted tubule arises, that is PCT, and you can say that it is nearest to the Bowman's capsule. So this is the Bowman's capsule. So this PCT is near to the Bowman's capsule. Okay. Both the Bowman's capsule and the proximal convoluted part lie in the cortex region. Okay, so when we are cutting the section, this is the kidney. So, and this kidney, the outer thick brown region. So, till here the outer, what is that? This much region is the cortex, isn't it? So this much region is what? Nothing but cortex. So this Bowman's capsule and this proximal convoluted tubule or PCT, that lies in this region only, where yes, it is in the outer cortex region of the kidney. Okay, so these two lie in the cortex region of the kidney. And then you can see a middle U-shaped part. So here from this another U-shaped part. This tubule continues as a U-shaped part. Like this, a U-shaped part you can see, which is called as what? Henle's loop. Okay, this is called as what? Loop of Henle. Okay. So it is just like the curve of a hairpin. Okay, it is not convoluted. Any tubules are convoluted like this? No, it is straight a long tube you can see, which is called as loop of Henle. Loop of Henle. So this is called as loop of Henle. It runs medulla to turn back and re-enter the cortex to continue into the next convoluted region. So here you can see that this goes to which part? Yes, to the medulla. This is the medulla. This is cortex and this is the medulla part of the kidney. Okay, so this part, that is loop of Henle, where it will be? Yes, that will be in the medulla part of the kidney. And again it come back and again another loop comes, that will be in which region? Yes, that will be in the cortex region. So distal convoluted tubule or DCT, distal convoluted tubule, and that here you can see. So this tubule is called as what? Distal convoluted tubule or the second tubule. Okay, so here you can see it is coiled structure. So this is nothing but DCT, full form distal convoluted tubule lying. This will be again go back to the cortex. Okay, so here you can see that first two parts, that is Bowman's capsule as well as PCT, proximal convoluted tubule, that will be in the cortex, whereas here the second part, that is loop of Henle, that will be in the medulla. From medulla again it turns back and reaches where this DCT, that is distal convoluted tubule, that again enters into which region? Yes, in the cortex region. Okay. Now this is it opens to a collecting duct. It will come and then it will open to a collecting duct. So this is the collecting duct. So this opens into a collecting duct. So this is called as what? Collecting duct. This tubule is called as what? Collecting duct. So this enters into the collecting duct. Understood? So collecting duct receives the contents mainly of many kidney tubules and pour its urine in the pelvis of the kidney. So here usually what will be coming and collecting together, you can see that is nothing but urine. Okay, so this will reach, this is the pelvis region. So the ureter will be coming like this, isn't it? So one kidney I am showing. So this is what is the pelvis region of the kidney. This enlarged portion here, the ureter, it is bit enlarged in this position, and this is nothing but what? Pelvis. So from this collecting duct, so this is the collecting duct which is present somewhat here in the kidney. So from here urine will be entering into the this ureter through what? Through the collecting duct. Okay, and it lies in the medulla, and the striped appearance, we can see a striped appearance in the section view. So uriniferous tubule, that is nothing but the structural and functional unit of the kidney. So let us see that they are very tiny, they are very small in nature. What are the features of this one? The total number of both kidneys of uriniferous tubules or nephron, it is 2 million. So in each kidney, so you can see both the kidneys, what is the number of this uriniferous tubule? This is the structure of a nephron. Okay, one uriniferous tubule or nephron I have shown here, and what is the total number present in both kidneys? So it may be approximately 2 million. Then each single tubule is 4 to 5 centimeter long. So this structure starting from this Bowman's capsule entering into the collecting duct, what is the length of this one? Yes, it may be 4 to 5 centimeter long. Okay, total length of all the tubules together more than 60 kilometer. You can imagine, because it is 2 million nephrons are present in these two kidneys, and if you extend these 4 to 5 centimeter long each nephron and continuing, it will reach us nearly 60 kilometer. This great length provide a huge surface for the reabsorption of usable substance, especially water. Okay. And blood flowing through the kidneys per minute in a single minute. How much blood will be flowing through the kidney? Yes, it is 1 liter of blood. So in a single minute, you can see 1 liter of blood passes through this kidney. And again, this filtrate produced in 24 hours is 160 liters. How much? It is 160 liters of, you can see that filtrate is produced. And urine is produced from the glomerulus. Filtrate after reabsorption per day is 1.2 liter. And how this blood supply to the kidney? A pair of renal arteries branches to form dorsal aorta to enter into the respective kidney. See here, you can see in renal arteries, it enters into each kidney a pair of renal arteries there. Clearly you can see. So here each renal artery branches and branches several times to give rise to the arteriole. So each one, this one branches, rebranches, and it gets what? 5 branches called as arterioles. And the Bowman's capsule under the name afferent arteriole, that is, this breaks into a number of capillaries which forms and then efferent arteriole. So when you look here, you can see here one is thicker and one is thinner. Through this, you can see clearly, through this blood enters here fine capillaries and it needs a large amount of energy to pump this blood because this is larger one, whereas the one which this is entering. Okay, this is through this one it is going out. So efferent arteriole, usually you can see that it has thin walls, whereas the other one is thick.